Okay, so for your first assignment, you're going to be making a graph. It's going to be a graph of the number of major scientific discoveries versus time. And then you're going to be doing some other things for parts 2 and 3 in this first week. But I want to show you the best way, I think, to make the graph to show what we want to show. And I'm going to use Google Drive for that, or Google Sheets. I'm going to make a spreadsheet on Google just because that's accessible to everyone, and it'd be good for you to learn that. Of course, you can use Excel if you want also and submit that file here too. So first of all, here's what the assignment looks like on the History and Philosophy of Science website. And as is noted here, I used a particular site to find the scientific discoveries. You can use whatever you want though. Wikipedia has some nice timelines. I've got those linked here. There's another link that I posted to a neat science timeline site. You might have your own book that you want to use for this, but let's take a look at the site that I've got here, because it has a lot of scientific discoveries on it. And I think this is pretty reliable. It actually lists it's got a bibliography, it lists references, it acknowledges some people down here that helped build the site. So I think probably this is pretty reliable. You notice up here it's got tabs. It's divided the discoveries into time periods, and that's kind of handy. If I click on prehistory to 1650, and then I'll scroll down here, I notice that they're including things here like wolves being domesticated, sheep, walled communities, and so I think what we want to do, you can approach this however you want. You could break out here. You could take out some things that you don't consider to be science or technological. In fact, I would probably include technological advances here. But you could take out some of those things if you want and just count certain types of things, just specify if you do that. I think I went ahead and included everything on this site. And as we scroll down here, we'll see that they list the dates for all of these, and little descriptions as well, so you can read about what happened, what they discovered. So here we go, starting at about 10,000 BCE, before Common Era. So this is what used to be called just BC. This would be about let's see, 12,014 years before the present time. Okay, so this is BC. If you notice here, we got this one thing here in 10,000. We got another discovery here in 9,000, one in 7,000, another in 7,000, 6,500. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the period from 10,000 to 5,000, okay? And I'm going to make that my first period. And so what I would do then is I would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whoops, and there we go to 5,500. So I would say I've only got 6 in the period from 10,000 to 5,000 BC, and then maybe in the period from 5,000 to 4,000 or something like that. So I can change my periods, and let me show you how that's going to work. In your Google Drive here, you're just going to say create, and then you're going to create a spreadsheet. All right, now I've already done that here, and I made this spreadsheet here. You probably want to give it a title. It'd be good to put your name in here, because you're going to share this with me or submit it, and so it'd be good to have your name and science discoveries, whatever you want to call it. All right, now you notice I put some arbitrary dates in here. I'm going to change this, so 10,000, and then the next one's going to be 5,000. And then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to switch to a 1,000 year increment for the next few thousand years. In fact, I'm going to do that right up to the year 0. And then we'll see what happens after that. I might want to adjust. After the year 0, I might want to go to something like 500, and then maybe to 1,000. And then maybe I want to start doing something like this, probably. Go every 100 years. See what I'm doing here? So I'm saying here that I'm going to have to narrow this as the numbers of discoveries increases. I'm going to have to use smaller increments of time. Maybe even start going to, I would say after 1600, I probably want to start going to 50-year increments. Something like that, okay? And go right up to the present. Now the number of discoveries, what did we say was well, it's going to be 0 up to 10,000. Now notice how I'm doing this. Then between 10 and 5,000, so up till the year 5000 BC. And by the way, this should actually be negative. Very important. This should be negative numbers. Otherwise, it's definitely not going to work right on our graph. Okay. Now, I said there's going to be 0 before 10,000. Then from 10,000 to 50,000, we said there was 6. And from 5 to 4,000, let's look on our website here. We'll pick up this one. 1, 2. Okay, there's only going to be 2. And then we're going to leave these into the next one. So let's go and put a 2 here. Okay. Then from 4 to 3,000, what do we have? So we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Notice how these numbers work. Notice how they're actually getting smaller. That's because we're going. This is the number of years before a certain time, before the year 0. All right, and now I'm just going to throw some things in here. I'm going to make up some numbers, something like that. Now, what we're looking for though is we want to look at the total number of discoveries and how that has accumulated over time. So what we really want is the cumulative number. These numbers are not cumulative. Right here in this column, these are the actual numbers within the given time period, okay, or up until the date that's listed here from the last date. So from 5,000 to 4,000, there were 2. But what I want to do is add them all up. So what we can do is start here with 0, and then here I'm going to make this equal to, I'm going to make it equal to the previous cell plus this cell right here. You see what I did there? I clicked on this, and this cell is called C2 because it's C is in C column and then row 2 plus B3. Enter. Okay, notice it says 6. Now, I could just keep going down. Right here I could put equals C3 plus B4, okay, and that would add up these two. But it's actually easier if I just grab the corner of this and drag it down. It copies that formula. It doesn't only copy it, but it changes the numbers accordingly. So notice it changed my row numbers, 3 and 4, whereas up here it was 2 and 3. So what I can do is just drag this right down, and bam, I've got a cumulative number. Let's just double check. This says 76. 30 plus 20 is 50. 68, 76. Notice how easy that is. So this is the cumulative number of discoveries. Okay, now that's really what I want to graph. So how do we make a graph on this thing? Well, it's going to be a little trickier since we just extended this column here, but let's go ahead and plot and just drag and select all these columns. See that? Now you're of course going to go further down here than I did. I only went to the year 0 just as an example. Click on Insert Chart, and very important, we want this chart to be a scatter plot. Okay? Scatter plot is what you use when you have quantitative data for both your x and your y axes. So we're going to click that, and there we go. Look at that. Now it actually shows the total number, I mean the cumulative number, and the broken down kind of the disaggregated number here, the number within each time period. Okay. Now I don't really need that, so what I'm going to do before I insert this is I'm going to try to get rid of that extra data. So what I can do is, let's see, I can't just delete it from my, let's see, well, we'll leave it in there for now, and I'm going to click Insert. Alright, there you go. So I've inserted my chart. Now, probably the simplest way to do this is to select this column and say copy. And then I'm going to paste it right here. And it's a paste special and paste values only. And then I'm going to, whoops, then I'm going to delete this column. There you go. So that's the simplest way to do this. Now you could probably do this also within, by switching things around in the chart itself. Let's try that. If we put it back like we had it. So if you want to leave the raw data right here, this column, then let's see what I can do. If I click on Advanced Edit, and find my data series. So number of discoveries. Let's get that out of there. Well, that was easy enough. That's one way to do it. I just got rid of those. Let's see if there's another way we can do it. I think this isn't nearly as powerful as Excel, so it's going to be hard for us to get rid of that, actually get rid of the data point. It doesn't allow us to pick particular ranges. So that's probably the way that we have to do it. Okay, so I just showed you two ways. Now notice you can change the chart title, which you're going to want to do. You're going to want to give it a title here. You can label the axes, and those are under this Customize tab here. Chart title, the axis titles are down here. All right, and that's what you're going to do. So now when you're done with this, you can literally just share it with me. So click on Share, and then type in here greenwilliamp@gmail.com right here. You can type that in here and send it to me. You can actually load this into Moodle, submit this to Moodle right from your Google Drive, but it will not, I don't think it'll share the chart with me properly. So for this assignment, it would be better if you just shared it with me on Google Drive, or if you do it in Excel, then you can submit the Excel document to me. Okay, so that's what we're looking for, and if you have any questions, just send me an email.